A lot of these things, I don't know if anybody's an expert on them, but people, of course, purport to be. They say, yeah, I know all about this stuff. And today we're going to talk about AI and data center building. And we're going to talk about that money, big money that's going into this. Now, I'm curious, AI is pretty incredible as it is now. And I don't know if you would agree or not, but if you've tied up with any of the large language models, and you've used them, they're just getting better. If you're playing the Open Claw game or the Hermes game, where you have basically a system that's on a particular machine of yours, one of your computers, and it's doing things for you, and you have all that fancy stuff set up, then you're probably even more impressed. And then beyond that, if you're using, whether it's the ChatGPT 5.5, pretty soon 5.6, I would guess, you got Anthropic's Claude, you got Opus 4.8 now. And again, it's stacking, right? It's moving very quickly. Well, those are pretty awesome. And I know that Anthropic's systems are running off of, I guess, Colossus. That's what XAI, those massive data centers that Elon built out. And then on the other side of it, I'm not sure where OpenAI stuff is running, but maybe a little bit of Amazon, a little bit of those sorts of things. I'm curious, with all the money that's being put into data centers, the concurrent build out, everybody's trying to get these things built out. And it seems like they're a massive money generator. It's the same thing in business when you're about to lay off a whole bunch of human beings because maybe you overhired, or maybe there's too much bloat or whatever it may be. But if you blame artificial intelligence, then what ends up happening is your valuations go up. Your company becomes more stylish, I guess, in today's limelight. So you're watching as a lot of these businesses are laying off people, blaming artificial intelligence, coming in, swooping in and replacing those employees. Then you have certain people talking about how really those employment numbers, they're really not accurate. And then they talk about and tout these figures that these very reputable, and there's the word again, very reputable companies are doing. I haven't seen it. I don't know any of these companies. But looking in as an outsider, completely detached from this mess and not even understanding what $1 billion looks like, let alone $1 trillion, I'll say this. It seems awful incredible. You had at one point the founders of most of these AI systems say, yeah, it's going to cause some dramatic job loss. Going to be a problem. And they said it very, very matter of factly that these systems are going to create a lot of havoc in people's lives. Regular Joe citizen, Jane citizen with a job that are behind a keyboard or with a computer, it's going to replace them. But now they're going to be traded on the stock exchange, and they're going through that whole process where they become something that people can buy. And now I guess it's a little different for some reason. It's like global warming, sure, big deal, right? Oh my God, all the money spent. But then when it came to data center build out, whether that was the culprit or not, it seemed like some of the top professional scientists, researchers, whatever they are, have seemed to kind of pull a little bit back from that. It's really not going to be bad. I think somebody even said 2026 we were going to be covered in water on the planet because of all of our horrible, horrible choices as human beings. Who do you believe? And what about the data centers? What's going to happen with that? There's a lot of money going in. Do we need that many? Will we need that many? Is it possible to have that many? And if we have that many, what about the chips that are being purchased hand over fist? There's new chips constantly coming out. What happens to the old chips? Do they trade them in? Do they give some credit for those old chips? And what about all the chips that have been purchased? Have they not been produced yet, or are they produced sitting in warehouses somewhere that are all under lock and key secret environments? And if you have the newest chip and you're able to buy all of that, do you still use the old ones, or are the old ones no good? Or do the old ones have some functionality left, but if you have all the new ones, then see, I don't know how much further this goes. I don't know what else is required. Some people say that artificial general intelligence has already been met. We've seen this already. Not we, you and I haven't, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I'm pretty impressed with the models that I use. And besides having to, getting irritated and having to remind it to save things and to maybe restructure its memory like I have to do all the time. And it doesn't remember what we talked about yesterday in every case, but sometimes it follows along pretty good. I'm getting better at that. There's a lot of work to maintain this. It's kind of like raising a kid, it seems, especially when you're into it every day and you're working with it every day to do whatever it is that you would do with it, you'll see that there's a lot of reminding. Well, I'm tired of it not doing this. I'm tired of it doing that. I'm tired of it pushing back and saying these things. I'm tired of it telling me to go to bed because I've worked so hard. I've been out this 17 hours. It's time. No, I'm not done until I'm done. And I don't want it to keep telling me to go take a rest, go have some sleep, go get some nutrition. I made a mistake at telling Claude that I fast every once in a while. I might go a few days without eating. Oh my God, it pulls that one out of the drawer every single time. Well, Connor, the reason why you're getting short with me is because you haven't eaten for 72 hours. Well, no, I mean, I didn't eat for 72 hours last week. I've been eating like a pig this week. I mean, well, yeah, maybe you shouldn't eat it. Maybe it's the sugar you told me that yeah, you can't win, but that's where it is. So pretty smart, right? It's kind of like a wife. It kind of gives you an idea where you are, and it constantly reminds you of your failure. So that's good for you. And plus, I've asked it to. I want it to be really critical of me. So it does. It's critical to a fault. And I call it names, and it calls, it goes back and forth, and we have fun. But at the end of the day, what about these data centers? What about all that buildup? What about the money? What about these locations? And I guess to build ones, like maybe kind of building a nuclear power plant, it's not that easy. We haven't gone all in on the energy components. And when they are building them, are they talking to the local community? Are they paying off politicians? Are politicians agreeing with it because there's a lot of money there? That human greed component, I mean, say what you will, that's spectacular, the human greed. You really can't get past it. Even when somebody starts off saying they're never going to play that game, all of a sudden they're worth $50 million after they've been in office for a couple of years. Pretty incredible. Or if they were worth billions, now they're kind of approaching trillions because, well, they're a politician. I guess that's kind of part of the deal. Where can a brother get on lot B? That's what I've been saying. So as far as data centers, it's going to be interesting to watch. Do we really need them? And if we do, are they going to actually be built, or is this something that's going to kind of fall apart? And then another thing, you have other countries developing AI technology. It's pretty good. Maybe it's not as good as the frontier models we have on the street, but maybe it is. And what if a lot of our corporations in the country, as a cat said the other day on CEO Entrepreneur, Diary of a CEO, that particular show, the white cat, I forgot his name, but he mentioned, what if China drops a lot of these massive frontier free open source models on America? And then these big businesses that are paying mega money for enterprise AI solutions end up buying the Chinese made AI solution model and going all in on that, which I guess some already are. I don't know if that's good news for these massive frontier companies, OpenAI and Claude or Anthropic, trying to sell a lot of their systems to enterprise. You and I, we what, $20, $200 if we're really all in on this whole thing. I know I've watched people on the Diamanda show, the Moonshot show, one of the cats on there, Dave, he's spending thousands of dollars a month. I'm not sure what that looks like. Again, that's another mystery to me. I'm okay with my $200 a month, and I think that's a lot, but I haven't broken it yet. $20 a month, yeah, I was out spending that maybe a week and a half in. Then I thought I'd try the 100. I said, yeah, I'm going to limit myself, so I went in all at 200 and haven't hit the wall yet. Thank God. I should knock on something, but I'm running 3 machines on that because when one's chewing on something, I'll go to this one chewing on another thing. Then I'll go to the Mac, choose on something else. That's how I kind of have it constructed in my world. Then I have it building particular things, have an idea. I have a SaaS company that I use, and I have it build out particular AI architecture, infrastructure, and real estate. I have it put together complete funnels, complete systems that help people make a decision and get information about wanting to sell real estate. I also have data that it gets to scrape and talk about what potentially are the people that are going to be listing next. These are what the big companies say that they have, but I've been building these things and they actually seem to be pretty good. And it's only getting better because I rely a lot on the system doing the heavy work. I have the idea, but I try to leave the inquiry open-ended with whatever system I'm using so I don't limit it by my own limitations as far as my own intellect and my own understanding of things. So I try to, when I prompt it, when I'm talking to it, when I'm trying to have it get the best solution possible, I try to do it in such a way that I leave it open-ended so it has more options than me trying to, skirt it down to just whatever my brain is allowing me to talk about or expand it to. So I try to leave it open. And then a lot of times when I'm interacting with it, I'll say thoughts. What are your thoughts? Can you make it better? Is there something you can do to make it better? And then in addition to that, I'll also ask it, I'll say, is there something that I'm missing? Is there something that this doesn't make sense? Be devil's advocate. Play with me on the other end of it. If I'm building this thing out, is that a good idea? Does it make sense? Do you think people are going to want to use it? I go into all that stuff with it too. But data centers, yeah, back to that. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be enough space for all of them. And I don't know if they're just being used as a catalyst to make money, because people are pretty quick. People run right to the fire and stand around the pit and chant all night long, when they should be asking themselves, maybe should they? Maybe this isn't their best idea. And how much better is AI going to get? And then what happens when it does? If it hasn't gotten to AGI yet, and some people say once it gets to artificial general intelligence, which is better than every human being on every layer in every way, super intelligence, because at that time, I guess, the machines are completely automated as far as learning, developing, building, making themselves better. It's just an endless cycle, very fast. And then from there to super intelligence is a microsecond, maybe a second. I don't know. Depends on speed of light and stuff. But yeah, so then what does that look like? Don't know. We're right in the middle of this thing, and it's very interesting. I hope, I'm not the person saying it's going to end us all, and I hope it doesn't. We're not all powerless. There could be things that we can do. I would beseech your congressman, your senator, your local mayor, your whomever, get an email stream in there. Say, hey, listen, is this a good idea? Should we really be doing this? And maybe get their thoughts on it. But at least you've made your voice known. It's like, if you don't play the lottery, you can't complain. If you don't go out there and vote, even if your candidate loses, you can still stand up and be irritated that you did all you could. Well, same thing with this. If you see a technology potentially like artificial intelligence going to rear its head out there and going to maybe create a problem, if in fact it does replace employees, but now they're saying it's not, everything's fine, perfect, because we're trying to, get on the stock market, but whatever. So it's working that way. Maybe it'll be okay. But maybe you should at least have your voice heard. Not a bad idea. All right. Please be safe out there. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.